Okay, so throughout the course, we have looked at how to write a sentence. We just did a boot camp of grammar, so we've looked even closer at writing a sentence. We have looked at writing different essays. And now the only thing that's really left to do is look at how to put your sentences together into a paragraph. So that's what this last lesson in the grammar boot camp is about. So there's quite a lot of examples in here, and I don't want to spend 20 minutes going through each example. So I encourage you to look at the slides. But what you need to have in a paragraph, essentially, is a topic sentence, supporting ideas, so main ideas within the paragraph and details that support that main idea, and then a concluding sentence. So think of a paragraph much in the same way that you would think of an essay, but you're only focusing on one main idea. So the common metaphor that we like to use with a paragraph is like a hamburger. So you have your top bun, which is your topic sentence. You've got the juicy, tasty details in there, your meats and your condiments and your veggies and all that kind of stuff is your supporting details. And then your concluding sentence is the bottom bun. So the top bun and the bottom bun, right, they kind of have the same flavor. So your topic sentence and your concluding sentence will have the same kind of flavor, letting the reader know what this paragraph is about. And then the stuff in the middle is the stuff that is satisfying, right? So all of those good details, the evidence that's supporting your idea. Okay, so all of the paragraphs that I have as examples in these slides are all about hamburgers. So I'm writing hamburger paragraphs about hamburgers. Okay, so topic sentence, maybe some extra details, more than one piece of evidence in order to support this main idea, and then your concluding sentence. Okay, so we can see that the topic sentence and the concluding sentence, they have, something in common, right? They go together, and then the details in the middle. So there's, just like there are multiple kinds of essays or approaches to analysis, there are multiple kinds of paragraphs, or how do you want to organize your details? So you can provide examples, you can narrate a bit of a story or an analogy, you can describe things using lots of adjectives and shape and color and size and weight and adverbs like, speed or dexterity or things like that. You can also explain the process, and we've talked about sort of process and system. So hopefully you have an idea. Think of like a recipe, right? The process of first, second, third. So I encourage you to look at the different slides that I have here. They are different examples of each of these types. Okay, so exemplification, narrative, description, process. You can either pause the video and look at these here, or again, the slides are on Blackboard. And then we have a few more. So cause and effect, right? If something happens, it results in an action happening. Compare and or contrast. Definition. Divide and classify, that's one that I've included because depending on the field that you go into, this might be important. Some people use this a lot, others will never use it at all. And then finally, your strong opinion, right? Your argument. What do you think is best? What do you think should be done? Why are you delivering this material? Right? Convincing a reader of something. So again, examples. Please have a look. And the other thing that I want to point out in writing a paragraph, okay, so we've talked about how you have a topic sentence, a concluding sentence, and then the details in the middle, right? Your supporting evidence. So you want to make sure that you have, a few different examples, a few different points that support that main idea. But I also want you to consider how you put all of these details together, right? Paragraphs are an accumulation of sentences. So your sentence is really the specific, really beautiful brush strokes that together make a nice presentation of your idea. So I'm actually going to read this out loud because it's reading this out loud, hopefully you'll really see the point that's being made here. So this sentence has 5 words. Here are 5 more words. 5-word sentences are fine, but several together become monotonous. Monotonous. Listen to what is happening. The writing is getting boring. The sound of it drones. It's like a stuck record. The ear demands some variety. Now listen. I vary the sentence length and I create music. Music. The writing sings. It has a pleasant rhythm, a lilt, a harmony. I use short sentences, and I use sentences of medium length. And sometimes, when I am certain the reader is rested, I will engage him with a sentence of considerable length, a sentence that burns with energy and builds with all the impetus of a crescendo, the roll of the drums, the crash of the cymbals, sounds that say, listen to this, it is important. So write with a combination of short, medium, and long sentences. Create a sound that pleases the reader's ear. Don't just write words, write music. So hopefully through hearing that, you can really see that variation, right? You really are writing a piece here that is supposed to, please your reader in a certain way, right? And so I want you to think about that. Don't just write sentences. Put together compose a piece, right? Don't just write sentences, write music. We talked about modifiers, and so this slide is just a bit of some evidence, really, sort of a model of how you can take the same clause and reorder it, and you've still got a complete correct sentence, but you are emphasizing certain things depending on where you put them in a sentence. So this is another thing that you can think about. Okay. Couple of cautions. So please remember that parallelism is important, okay? So these 3 examples here, right? The 2 of them are not, there isn't a parallelism happening. So unless we slow virus transmission, particularly amongst unvaccinated Albertans, we simply will not be able to provide adequate care to everyone who gets sick, okay? We simply cannot provide adequate care to everyone who gets sick unless we slow transmission by speeding up testing and vaccination. We simply cannot provide adequate care to everyone who gets sick. What will it take to get everyone vaccinated? Right. So the first one, we are, including specific information, right? Specifically amongst vaccinated Albertans. Okay. It's giving an important point or argument, right? It's providing detail, but it's a little bit clunky, right? So we have instead this idea of we simply cannot provide adequate care to everyone who gets sick unless we slow transition by speeding up testing and vaccination. So we have a parallel here. We can't slow unless we speed, right? We can see how that sentence is specifically arranged its phrasing in a way that creates a sort of, there's a balance there. Now, rhetorical questions, they can be used effectively, but they are overused, okay? So unless you are really using these questions, right? What will it take to get everyone vaccinated? A rhetorical question is not meant to, have the writer pause and wait for an answer. It's setting up, what will soon be argued. But they get overused. So I really want to caution you against using them. It's better to just answer the question by giving me good detail instead of setting it up with this rhetorical question. But sometimes they can be used effectively, as long as they're like in the right place and they're punchy. Okay, the other thing that I have on these slides here are just some transitional words and phrases. So you might find some feedback that I'm giving you says transition. And what I mean by that is you want to really guide your reader from paragraph to paragraph, right? So you can do that by using these words, right? Another important point. In addition, just as this is important, so too is this. Those kinds of phrases connect your paragraphs together. So this is what we mean by transitions. Okay. So this is hopefully a much quicker video than some of the videos that you have watched. You are finished your grammar boot camp. You are well on your way to writing a good research paper. Keep it going. And as always, if you have questions, please reach out. Thanks very much.